Welcome to episode 6 of my Thanksgiving series where I show you how to make all the different components of a Thanksgiving dinner. Today we are going to make potatoes au gratin, also known as scalloped potatoes. This seems to be a very popular side dish this year, so I'm going to show you step by step how to make them. This step is completely optional, but I want there to be roasted garlic in my cheese sauce, so I'm going to just cut off the little tip of my garlic head, place it on a piece of tin foil, drizzle it with some olive oil, put some salt, pepper, wrap it up, and bake it for 45 minutes at 350. Now for the potatoes, I'm starting with about 6 large potatoes, peeling them, washing them, and then slicing them into these thin little pieces. To keep the potatoes from going brown, I'm going to put them in a bowl of ice cold water. And you could use a mandolin if you have one of those, but I don't, so I'm just freestyling it with my knife. The slices aren't completely perfect and uniform, but they're good enough for me. Now we're going to grate all of our cheeses. I'm using Parmesan, cheddar, and mozzarella. Of course, you can save yourself a lot of time by buying pre-shredded cheese at the store, but freshly shredded cheese just melts a lot better. I won't be using the entire 3 blocks of cheese, but I'm going to shred the entire thing since I already have the cheese grater out. And I'm only going to grate about half a cup of Parmesan cheese. Now we're also going to prepare our seasonings. You're going to add 1 teaspoon of paprika, 1 teaspoon of oregano, 1 teaspoon of salt, pepper, parsley flakes, and Lori seasoning. Mix that all up and let's go to the stove. You're gonna melt half a stick of butter into a pan. We're gonna work on our roux. Once that's melted, add in 2 tablespoons of flour and stir. Keep stirring until all the flour is combined, and then you're gonna add in 1 cup of milk and 1 cup of heavy cream. Now we're gonna add the spices right here before things get crazy. Now you're gonna take that roasted garlic that you baked earlier and squeeze out all of the cloves. If you didn't do this, just add a teaspoon of garlic powder. Now we're gonna start to add the cheeses one by one, incorporating them gently. You already know that was half a cup of Parmesan, and then I added a 1/3 cup of cheddar and a 1/3 cup of mozzarella, stirring in between. You want to kind of baby a roux because we're working with cheese here, and this sauce is the main star of this dish. Once it's all incorporated, we're going to move on to assembling. I'm going to take my potato slices and just neatly stack them kind of in rows. It doesn't have to be perfect because now we're going to pour the cheese sauce all over the top. And then I'm just taking my whisk and spreading out the cheese sauce so that all of it is covered evenly. Now I'm just going to sprinkle some mozzarella, cheddar cheese, and a little bit of parsley on top before putting it into the oven. Then you're going to bake for 350 for an hour. It looks beautiful so far, but of course we want to kick it up a notch, so put it back in the oven and broil it for a few minutes. Now that we've browned the top beautifully, we're just going to top it with some more parsley, and then you want to let it cool down just a little bit before you serve because it's a cheese sauce. You don't want it to be too runny. You want it to thicken it up just a little bit. And once it's ready, it is absolutely dreamy.